Welcome to my story time by mybooksummary.com. Get ready for quick wisdom of countless stories and explore. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Imagine a world where books are illegal. No, not just frowned upon or censored, straight up banned, hunted down, and burned by the very people who are supposed to uphold law and order. Imagine a future where firemen don't extinguish fires but start them. Sounds like a dystopian nightmare, right? Welcome to Fahrenheit 451. A novel that makes you want to hug your bookshelf a little tighter. Ray Bradbury, the literary wizard behind this tale, takes us into a bleak, bookless future, where people are addicted to mindless entertainment, conversations are superficial, and thinking for yourself is practically a crime. This is not your typical action-packed, high-speed sci-fi thriller. This is a slow burn, pun absolutely intended, that seeps into your mind and makes you question everything. Our protagonist, Guy Montag, is a fireman. But in his world, firemen don't save lives, they destroy knowledge. They burn books because books make people think, and thinking leads to questioning, and questioning leads to unrest. The government wants a society of happy, obedient citizens who don't ask too many questions. But then, like in all great stories, something happens that changes everything. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's set this review on fire, figuratively of course. The world of Fahrenheit 451. Bradbury's world is eerily familiar. At first you might think, well, thank goodness this is just fiction. But then you start noticing the eerie similarities between his world and ours. People in Montag's society don't really talk to each other. Oh, they chatter about meaningless things like TV shows, celebrities, and the latest trends, but they never really connect. Instead, they immerse themselves in giant wall-sized screens that spew out entertainment 24/7. Their homes have interactive TV shows where the characters actually pause and wait for your response. Sound familiar? If you've ever had Netflix ask, "Are you still watching?" then you know exactly what I mean. Books are banned because they make people uncomfortable. They contain conflicting ideas. They force you to think. And in a world where thinking is discouraged, books are dangerous. Society has chosen mindless happiness over knowledge, and it's all going up in flames, literally. Montag, our fireman turned rebel, doesn't question any of this at first. He does his job, burns books, goes home to his emotionless wife, Mildred, who is glued to her TV family, and then wakes up to do it all over again. But then he meets someone who changes his life. The spark that ignites the fire. Enter Clarisse McClellan. Clarisse is the kind of person who would terrify a totalitarian society. She's young, full of life, and worst of all, she asks questions. Unlike everyone else, Clarisse isn't glued to a screen. She likes to walk, observe, and gasp, talk to people. When she meets Montag, she asks him the simplest yet most dangerous question. Are you happy? And that, dear reader, is the moment the first domino falls. Montag, who has spent years in robotic obedience, suddenly starts questioning his world. Clarisse is like a breath of fresh air in a suffocating world. She talks about the past when people actually read books, had deep conversations, and enjoyed the world around them instead of being hypnotized by flashing screens. But just as quickly as she appears, she vanishes, most likely killed in a society that has no place for thinkers. Her disappearance only deepens Montag's curiosity. If books are so dangerous, then what exactly is inside them? Montag's awakening, the forbidden knowledge. Montag starts stealing books. At first, he doesn't even know why he's doing it. It's like an itch he can't scratch. He hides them in his house, terrified of being caught, but also unable to resist the pull of knowledge. His wife, Mildred, is horrified when she finds out. Not because she fears for Montag, but because she fears losing her shallow, comfortable existence. Books bring complexity, and complexity is scary. She's perfectly content with her giant TV screens and seashell earpieces. Think AirPods, but for mind-numbing entertainment. But Montag can't go back to his old life. The more he reads, the more he realizes how empty his world is. He seeks out a former professor, Faber, who helps him understand what books really mean. It's not just about words on a page, it's about thinking. It's about seeing different perspectives, questioning authority, and understanding the world beyond the spoon-fed propaganda. At this point, Montag is a man on the edge. He knows he's being watched. He knows he can't keep pretending. And then, because things can always get worse, he gets reported. By his own wife. The fireman becomes the fugitive. In a cruel twist of fate, Montag is ordered to burn down his own house. His captain, Beatty, a man who both fascinates and infuriates him, forces him to do it. And when Montag finally snaps and turns the flamethrower on Beatty, well, that's when all hell breaks loose. Montag becomes a fugitive, running from the very system he once served. He's hunted down by robotic hounds, chased through the city, and ultimately forced to escape to the wilderness, where he meets a group of outcasts. People who have dedicated themselves to memorizing books so that knowledge will never truly die. And then, just as he finds refuge, the city is bombed. The very society that banned books, silenced thinkers, and drowned itself in meaningless entertainment is wiped out in an instant. Final thoughts: the fire that never dies. At its core, Fahrenheit 451 is about the power of knowledge and the dangers of complacency. Bradbury warns us about what happens when we stop questioning, stop thinking, and stop seeking truth. The scary thing? We're already halfway there. We live in a world of endless distractions. Social media feeds us bite-sized information with no room for depth. Entertainment is designed to keep us hooked, not to make us think. The question is, will we fight for knowledge, or will we let it burn? If you've ever felt like the world is becoming too loud, too fast, too empty, then Fahrenheit 451 is a book you need to read. And maybe, just maybe, it'll make you appreciate the quiet power of turning a page. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends, and let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.